You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Good evening, I'm Melissa Bruner.
And I'm Ralph Hipp. Welcome in here at 10. The Topeka Roadrunners are asking a simple question tonight to Shawnee County Commissioners. Do you want the Topeka Roadrunners in your future?
Roadrunners owner Don Stone spoke in front of Landon Arena tonight. He says the Roadrunners have been talking with Kansas Expo Center management about a long-term lease since late January. Tonight was the team's 200th game played in Landon Arena, and Stone became very emotional while making a plea to the Topeka community.
All of these players have put a stamp on this organization and this community. For this, we are thankful.
13's Jonathan Deutsch was there tonight, and we'll have more in sports. While law enforcement agencies across the country have been tested with protests, the Topeka Police Department is finding ways to build a stronger bond with the community. 13's Justin Surensey takes a look at a busy week for area law enforcement.
Well, in the midst of public police protests turning violent in Baltimore, Topeka Police Chief James Brown says it's their proactive approach within the community that could be paying dividends.
The people united will never be defeated.
It may be over 1,100 miles away, but Topeka Police Chief James Brown is keeping tabs on the turmoil in Baltimore.
It's unfortunate that so many areas around the United States are having such turbulent times in the law enforcement community.
That's why he says today's unveiling of 2 new community sites for the police department was so important.
This is how you build a resilient community, is by doing these things on the front end, building those relationships and having areas to where the citizens feel safe in coming and talking to their police officers.
The east side location is inside the Deer Creek Recreation Center, and a west side location at the Safe Streets building on 29th and McVicker.
We are truly embedded in the community of Topeka, Kansas.
While the community applauded the department for the relocation, other officers were awarded for their skills on the move. 7 officers with the Topeka Police Department's motorcycle unit competed this week in the Midwest Motorcycle Police Challenge in Lenexa, earning first place finishes in the novice, team, and team slow ride.
It's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of challenging between officers. You always train and do better when you have someone to compete against.
Out of 41 competitors, only 1, a Topeka officer, completed the time challenge course without an error. He says pushing your skills to the limit can help enhance your talents protecting the streets.
You become more aware of your abilities and your limits, and you may actually push them and find out that you have more that you can also, rely on. It just helps with the riding abilities and teach you and train you more.
The motorcycle unit finished 7th overall in the competition, and the work will quickly begin inside both community stations once phone lines, furniture, and security features are set up.
Justin, thank you. On the Topeka scene, now to Baltimore, where 6 Baltimore police officers have been arrested and charged with Freddie Gray's death. Baltimore's top prosecutor saying Gray should have never been arrested in the first place, that the officers ignored the 25-year-old's pleas for help after he'd been injured. Let's go to CBS's Craig Boswell in Baltimore, where protesters tonight are beginning to celebrate.
Thousands of demonstrators filled the streets of Baltimore again Friday. But what set this march apart was its tone.
I just feel it's the most wonderful thing I've seen in a long time.
Residents are celebrating the arrests of the 6 officers involved in the death of 25-year-old Freddie Gray. Baltimore City's state attorney announced the charges.
The manner of death, deemed a homicide by the Maryland State Medical Examiner, is believed to be the result of a fatal injury that occurred while Mr. Gray was unrestrained by his seatbelt in the custody of the Baltimore Police Department wagon.
Gray died of a severe spinal injury a week after his April 12th arrest. The charges against the officers include second-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, and second-degree assault. Gray's family says they're satisfied.
These charges are an important step in getting justice for Freddie.
The charges are only the first step toward the justice these protesters are demanding as well, but those supporting the officers are blaming public pressure.
I have never seen such a hurried rush to file criminal charges, which I believe are driven by forces which are separate and apart from the application of law and the facts of this case as we know them.
Protesters say their work is not yet done.
We're still watching, we're still listening, and we're not going to stop.
More rallies are planned this weekend.
All 6 officers posted bond and at least 5 have been released. 1 more expected to head home later tonight. U.S. Attorney for Kansas Barry Grissom is urging Kansas law enforcement agencies to apply to get a new federal program for body cameras going. Today, the Justice Department announced the $20 million body-worn camera pilot partnership program. 50 law enforcement agencies would get money to purchase the devices, and it's hoped about 1/3 would be smaller agencies. Funding will also be set aside for training on that, the technical tools, and evaluation. Grissom says body cameras ought to be standard and can build trust and keep the public and officers safe. TPD recently doubled its number of body cameras to 200 deployed with officers on the streets.
The state's high court delayed its proceedings in the death penalty case against the man convicted of killing a Greenwood County sheriff. The court says it first wants to hear the outcome of the United States Supreme Court's review of similar death penalty cases involving Jonathan and Reginald Carr and Sidney Gleason. Justices will consider whether instructions given to jurors in the sentencing phases of those trials violated their rights. Cheever was convicted of capital murder for the 2005 killing of Greenwood County Sheriff Matt Samuels. In December 2013, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld Cheever's conviction and death sentence, but sent the case back to the Kansas High Court for further proceedings.
Attorneys for Frazier Glenn Miller, the man charged with killing those 3 people at Jewish sites in Kansas City, have filed more than 20 motions as they get ready for his trial this summer. The Kansas City Star reports attorneys are first of all seeking a change of venue for Miller, who is set for trial the 17th of August on capital murder charges in the deaths of 3 people at Overland Park last April. Miller had said he was trying to kill Jews. None of the 3 victims were Jewish. He told the AP this week he plans to plead guilty. A motions hearing is set for the 14th of May. Sheriffs in Colorado and 2 other states might not like legalized marijuana, but they don't have the ability to force Colorado not to allow it. That is Colorado's argument in motions filed today asking a judge to toss out a lawsuit from 10 county sheriffs in Colorado, Kansas, and Nebraska. The lawsuit is one of several legal challenges that Colorado is facing after they legalized recreational marijuana in 2012. The sheriffs say that recreational pot burdens law enforcement and should be axed. Colorado asked the U.S. District Court in Denver to dismiss the claims.
An evening house fire sent 1 person to the hospital with smoke inhalation. The fire started just after 7 tonight at 3231 Southwest Senna Drive. 1 person inside got out on their own but was treated for a mild case of smoke inhalation and taken to a hospital for evaluation. The fire was contained in about 30 minutes. Investigators say it started in a bedroom and apparently was caused by carelessly discarded smoking materials. The estimated loss is $30,000. A Topeka man must repay the Kansas Medicaid program for home health care fraud. 50-year-old Gary Sherman pleaded guilty in February to 1 count of unlawful acts relating to the Medicaid program and a count of making a false claim to the Medicaid program. Prosecutors say he was paid more than $3,800 for services not provided. A co-defendant, 51-year-old Evelyn Sutton of Topeka, also pleaded guilty yesterday to the same charges. Sentencing in that case is set for June 17th.
Firefighters are once again taking off their boots to help fight forms of muscular dystrophy again this weekend. Topeka firefighters and the International Association of Firefighters, the local 83, headed to intersections around Topeka, including 29th and Wanamaker. This is the 2015 boot block. Firefighters urge you drivers to fill their boots with donations for the MDA. They'll be out again Saturday between 9 and noon and 1 and 4. IAFF, the firefighters group, has partnered with MDA for decades fighting neuromuscular diseases. Now, by the way, Melissa, there was a huge story which you and I saw tonight. The MDA has announced that after 6 decades, it'll be ending the Labor Day telethon broadcast. It had been with Jerry Lewis and went to ABC Network a couple of years ago.
And we hosted it for many years.
Many years.
And get ready for a weekend of food, fun, and everything Kansas at the Kansas Sampler Festival in Wamego. The 26th annual event returns to Wamego City Park for a 2nd year. Volunteers and vendors were busy today setting up tents and food trucks. Organizers expect more than 300 vendors from around the state with more than 11,000 visitors over the next 2 days. All food and products made in Kansas. The festival goes 10 to 5 Saturday, 10 to 4 Sunday. Day passers are $5 for adults, $3 for kids ages 7 to 12. Under 6 are free.
Well, budding young artists were taking center stage at this first Friday for the Art Walk at Noto, and the students from Quincy Elementary School joined USD 501 Chief Dr. Julie Ford on the Noto Art Center steps, debuting We the People, Art for Social Change. This event includes unveiling the Quincy Safe Banner Path and connecting the school to Noto with special banners in neighborhood yards. And the fans of First Friday in Noto were invited to get an up-close look at the banners by walking the path to an open house they had at the school.
Every kid in the school from kindergarten through 5th grade added their marks to group workshops we had last fall. Then they got turned around into what you see here. That's one of the things that's happening. We've got these 8 great designs, and it captures the energy of the kids. I mean, what's simpler than simple marks, little doodles and drawings? It really captures who we are, I think, as a people, and reminds us, I think, that what's happening with Heartland Visioning, this is part of making that dream come live. And having the kids part of that is awesome.
Sure is, and Bloomerang Studios helped with the project.
Jeremy Goodwin, of course, was out there. A nice night for First Friday Art Walk, Jeremy, and a lot planned for the weekend, too.
It was cloudy, comfortable temperatures in the low 70s all evening. Now we have a couple of chances of rain on the way this weekend. Let's check out the official numbers from today. Billard Airport made it to 78, even with all the clouds that were hanging around. 89 is the record high for this date back in 1987. Here's the HD Sky Camera Network around Northeast Kansas, looking out from the Parish Hotel's camera on Huntoon Hill, where 470 and I-70 come together. Skies are mostly cloudy. This is the view from near Maple Hill out in a rural area, but during tornado season, this is up on our transmission tower several hundred feet and will give us a great opportunity to see any of those lowering clouds. If we do have tornadic storms, this camera will be critical during those storms. As we look outside now from Menninger Hill down Wanamaker, a busy evening this Friday night, and from the view on Quinton Heights Hill from the Capitol Federal Sky Cam, everything is dry but cloudy. Tomorrow I'll be at this event, 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. This is the Overbrook First Responders Showcase. It's going to be at the Overbrook City Lake. You'll be able to see demonstrations like the Jaws of Life. They're going to have those there. If the rain holds off, the KHP and also Lifestar are going to land their helicopters around 10 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully the weather will cooperate. We do need that. But all these organizations will be there. Red Cross, Community Blood Bank, the police from Overbrook, Carbondale, as well as the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office will all be there. And again, they'll be landing the helicopters. I had a lot of fun making this graphic. Watch that. Took me about an hour. About an hour to do that. That's the simple choice I get in drawing the weather graphics sometimes, but I had fun with it. There's the rain moving in tonight. It's not heavy, it's not widespread, but some sprinkles along the Nebraska border. 60 in Manhattan now. Topeka was 65, and Hiawatha 63 degrees. Zooming out across the state, everyone is in the 60s right now, and there's heavier rain in western Kansas. Now let's check out Supercast and time this out. The event in Overbrook tomorrow from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. So here we are, 9. Chance of rain moving in. We'll stop this just afternoon. Looks like the rain starts to move out. A second opinion on the Supercast. Zoom in, it's a different model here, and you'll see the rain also coming in early morning and exiting by the middle of the afternoon. So there is a chance of seeing at least some scattered thunder showers across the area tomorrow in northeast Kansas. 56 tonight, an isolated rain shower possible. 82 tomorrow, the best chance of rain is in the morning, and we could be soggy all of next week. Tuesday has the lowest rain chance, but rainy much of next week.
We will get ready for the possible sogginess. Jeremy, thank you.
Well, from Cedar Crest to a school, a lot of kids were out and about getting fit today. We'll take a look at some of the students who were on the move coming up.
And is it the end of the road for the Roadrunners? We'll continue to follow that story with Chris and Jonathan on 13 Sports.
You're watching 13 News at 10 with Melissa Bruner and Ralph Hipp. 13 News, Kansas News Leader. You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Always great to see area students lacing up their tennis shoes and sprinting to the governor's mansion for a day of fitness and fun.
A lot of music and dancing, including by a Highway Patrol trooper. Governor Sam Brownback hosted the 25th annual Kansas Kids Fitness and Safety Day at Cedar Crest. More than 700 third graders joined in the event to promote the benefits of non-competitive physical activities and safety awareness. The troopers also spread a safety lesson on the importance of kids knowing their address in case of an emergency. By the end of the month, more than 13,000 third graders across the state will participate in Kids Fitness Day activities. Meadows Elementary students and teachers also were out today celebrating a year of running and staying active. The school awarded 65 students who've run 100 miles or more over the course of the school year. That's almost double. Last year, only 37 students made the challenge. They each received medals for their achievement, and the 5 students who logged the most miles earned gift cards to local restaurants. Before the awards, the kids got out and took part in a 1-mile fun run around their neighborhood.
6th graders had the chance to look at some of the things they might like to do when they're grown-ups today.
Channel 13 WIBW News at the zoo. We are trying to figure out why all these police cars are here. Let's go to them.
That's right. We toss it over to young lady. We found several future reporters at Pauline South and Career Day. The 6th graders learned about careers in broadcasting from our Eric Ives, zoo animal care, the law, marketing, and physical therapy, some of the other areas. The students have a jump start in the broadcasting field as they shot all of this video.
Yeah, it was really sad, and we were really and everything.
And the marvelous dancing of these students at McEachran Elementary, entertaining with the traditional dance of Mexico today in celebration of Cinco de Mayo. 5th grade students and some of the adults dressed up in costume and gave the young fans a very entertaining show at this school assembly. Of course, as you can tell, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, coming up Tuesday. The Kansas City Royals playing the Detroit Tigers. Could they up their ranking in the standings? Game 2 against Detroit tonight. Highlights on the way coming up.
Also, the Chiefs with 2 picks and a K-State Wildcat finds a new team. Those stories on the Draft next in sports.
13 Sports with Chris Lilly.
Hello everyone. Fans gathered outside the doors of Landon Arena earlier today, hoping to hear good news about the Roadrunners and next season, but the news they heard wasn't what they wanted. Jonathan Deutsch has more.
The Topeka Roadrunners played well at Landon Arena this season, going 25-3-2, but the Roadrunners don't have a home for next season. The Expo Center and Roadrunners owner Don Stone have yet to reach a deal.
We haven't got an answer to a very basic, simple question, which is, does SMG and the county want us back? And they have yet to answer that question, so it's kind of hard to negotiate any kind of lease if we don't know if they even want us.
The Roadrunners announced in late February no new deal was in place. Stone is ready for that to change.
We haven't even begun to talk about the length of the term. You know, we've done 2 3-year terms. We've been here 6 years under my ownership. We'd be happy to do a 10-year deal. We'd be happy to do a lesser deal. Right now, I just would like to have some kind of honest discussion.
In a phone call to 13 News, Kansas Expo Center General Manager H.R. Cook says he does not like talking about ongoing negotiations in public. Cook would say, though, he thinks the Expo Center has given the Roadrunners a fair deal and they are trying to keep them in Topeka. But Stone wants the fans and the public to know what's happening.
Our fans have been waiting a long time to hear where we're at, and you know, I've tried to do this as privately as we can, and we're at that point where we don't really have any other options but to be a little public about it.
Jonathan Deutsch, 13 Sports.
Thanks for that, Jonathan. The Topeka Roadrunners with a playoff game to play tonight against the Lone Star Brahmas. Go to Landon Arena. In the first period, the Roadrunners forced the neutral zone turnover. Then some nice passing leads to Mike Gornall, putting the puck in the net 1-0. Topeka up. The Brahmas back the other way. They force a turnover by Topeka, center the puck, and get it by Matej Tomek, the goalie of the year. Second period, shorthanded Sly Sutter, and the blue line comes in, shot, he scores. But Brahmas scored 2 in the third. They win it 3-2. The second and third rounds of the NFL draft tonight. Not sure if we'll see any of those local athletes taken, but we do know the Chiefs have a pick. With the Chiefs' first pick in the second round, they get center Mitch Morse from the University of Missouri. Then K-State's Tyler Lockett's name, it was called, with the 69th pick by the Seattle Seahawks. The Wildcats' draft streak is now up to 22 straight years, the longest in the conference. Then with the 76th overall pick, the Chiefs get wide receiver Chris Conley out of Georgia, and they also just picked corner Steven Nelson out of Oregon State. Lots going on in the draft tonight. The Kansas City Royals trying to keep it rolling. Game 2 against the Detroit Tigers in Kauffman Stadium. First inning, 2 outs. It don't matter because Kendrys Morales squeaks it by first base. Lorenzo Cain will score easily. And Eric Hosmer, he gets in his work on his sliding skills. 2-0 Royals. Salvador Perez still in the first. 2 outs, keeps it going. Morales, he'll come around to score. Now the Royals are up a 3 spot. Then the man of the hour makes another hit and another RBI. That was Morales again. The Royals take game 2 against the Tigers 4-1. High school action. Rossville traveled to Silver Lake for the war on I-24. Silver Lake's undefeated season came to an end in the first game. Game 2, Tucker Horak, first pitch of the game, way back for a double. They were clobbering the ball. Nick Reeser to left field, another hard hit one. Horak, he'll come around to score, and that makes it 1-0. And watch this. Christian Rodhunter with the flat out smashes the ball. That's out of here. Rossville with a huge day sweeping the Eagles, winning 9-0 in game 2. Also in the MIAA tonight, Lindenwood beat Emporia State 7-3. The final game is tomorrow at 1. The Washburn-Ichabods, they beat Missouri Western 9-1, and they advance to the next round. And athleticism was on full display at the annual Bob Camion Claudia Welsh Invitational, formerly called the Seaman Relays. Leavenworth's Willie Morrison drew the biggest crowd of the meet as he is approaching the state record in the shot put. He didn't get it today, but this throw was good enough for first place at 66 feet 1 inch, short of the record of 69 feet 1 inch. Plenty of local athletes excelled on the track. The Silver Lake girls took first in the 4x8 100-meter relay, and Emporia's Jordan Harmon took first in the 100-meter hurdles. Michael Magares of Manhattan swiped gold in the 1600, and Silver Lake's Alex Ferguson blew away the competition in both the 400 and 800. 3-time 100 and 200 state champ Joseph Reagan was held out of today's meet. More results are listed on the WIBW.com sports page. Lots of great action tonight. That's it for sports. Ralph and Melissa, back to you.
It is, Chris, thank you, and congratulations to future Seahawk Tyler Lockett. That is great news.
And we'll be back with Jeremy one more time after this.
This is your 13 weather forecast.
Still cloudy in Manhattan right now. Here's the view from the Flint Hills Discovery Center. Dry so far in northeast Kansas. We may see a few scattered showers and thunder showers this weekend, and then many rain chances next week.
Thank you, Jeremy. And finally tonight, the sights and sounds of Greece were filling the room tonight at Junction City's Convention Center. Brian Haug, Mallory Irvin, and 150 other people on hand for the annual fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Brian works with us. Mallory is from The Amazing Race. It was highlighted by a keynote speech from the Josh and Jennifer Bush family, along with their daughter Bella, who's being treated at St. Jude for a brain tumor. Such a brave little girl. Tonight's event raising lots of money for hope for all of those families. Hope you had a great evening, and I hope you have a great weekend ahead.
And the Late Show with our pal David Letterman is coming up next.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports on WIBW.com or follow WIBW on Twitter and Facebook. WIBW-TV, Heartland Regional Emmy Award for Evening Newscast.